Saturday, May 9th, 1992, and an historic meeting between Airdrie and Rangers. For Airdrie, a chance to capture the Tennent's Scottish Cup for the first time in more than 60 years. For Rangers, an opportunity to lay to rest an 11-year bogey in the competition where success has eluded them since 1981. With just a couple of hours to go to the big kick-off, everything is being put into place for the 1992 Tennent's Scottish Cup final between Airdrieonians and Rangers. Rangers had passed the stiffest of tests along the road to Hampden. Victories against all Premier opposition, starting with Aberdeen at Pittodrie.
The call. Here's Gordon. Ferguson goes to the near post. It's a corner again. And Mikhalichenko, having wasted the previous one, will want to do better this time.
Actually, David Winnie in the left-back position for Aberdeen settled down nicely. He's got in a very important couple of tackles here.
And Aberdeen very slow to react to a short corner. Gordon with that trick over the ball, that's one of his trademarks. Goff's header. Spackman trying to keep the pressure on. And McCoist! Not a classic, but that scarcely matters for Rangers. And Ali McCoist, with his 25th goal of the season, has drawn first blood here for Rangers.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Martin, they were a little bit slow to react to the short corner. Richard Goff is up for the set pieces, gets into the back post there. Scott Booth heads clear, gets knocked back into the box. You think Ali McCoist had just miscontrolled it here, sticks out his left peg and it just trundles past Theo Snell does. We see it here again. You think he's miscontrolled it here. Who does it go in off? Ali McCoist just sneaks it into the post there.
Irvin, who was starting to make his way back and has thought better of it, as Bet takes on his old club. And there wasn't much backlift on that shot, but Andy Gorham was able to get to it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a long-range effort here, but it's Aberdeen's first
to at least make chances to get back in the cup tie. They failed to do that. But here's Mason. Is it going to be a dramatic finale? Irvin, wonderful stop by Gorham. And that's when an international goalkeeper who's had very little to do shows what he's made of.
Andy Gorham's late save ensuring a Rangers victory at Pittodrie thanks to Ali McCoist's match-winning goal. And so to Ibrox for a fourth-round tie with the Tennent's Scottish Cup holders, Motherwell.
So once again, Cooper surveying the scene for Motherwell. Too far out surely this time for a direct shot. There's Kirk! And it's scrambled off the goal line. Wow, what a miss this was. Steve Kirk getting in behind the Rangers defence. He wasn't picked up. Playing that across, it appeared to come off Andy Gorham, but the referee's given a goal kick. There's Cooper. And it's a fine ball, angling in. Martin challenging for it. There's Alec Jones. Gorham didn't get to that, and Motherwell have earned a corner kick again. Well, Alec Jones close to his first goal for Motherwell. A great free kick that, swerving in there. One in the air well by Martin. There was Jones getting just ahead of Gorham, forcing the headed clearance for the corner. So here's Cooper, swerving this again, the near post. McCoist back defending. Cooper forward, here's O'Donnell, a shooting chance now. And Motherwell have scored! Phil O'Donnell gives Motherwell the lead. 26 minutes of the match gone, and that goal has been coming for the last 10 minutes. The pass from Cooper. O'Donnell steadied himself and just look at the quality of this shot, rifling it in low in the corner. Delayed the pass because Arnott would have been offside. Now he's all right. Attacking John Brown, going inside. Fine play, and there's Steve Kirk. And Gorham survives. Cooper, the maestro again, with the creative work, the pass into the path of Dougie Arnott. Now he had only one thought in mind. He wanted to go past defenders and test Andy Gorham, and that he did extremely well. It bubbled away from Gorham, and Kirk almost took full advantage, but Gorham was brave on the rebound. Although I've left the near post area empty at the moment, Rangers rather, I've left no player in there. There's a chance for Brown. It's off the post. There's Goff, and off the crossbar this time from right out. Well, Motherwell living dangerously. Rangers out of luck in that little burst. Here's Dale Gordon. Made that a bit obvious for Angus, allowing a Motherwell player to tidy up extremely well. It's unattempted by right out. This is Goff well forward again. There's a chance to Mikhalichenko. Rangers have equalised. Alexei Mikhalichenko sends waves of relief around the stadium. Mikhalichenko's fourth goal of the season, set up here by Rideout, who did so well holding off Brian Martin's challenge. The ball was then played forward by Goff beyond Nyholt. Mikhalichenko wasn't picked up, coming in from the left, and this time Thompson had no chance. Came from that throw, Stevens to Rideout. Look at the part played here by Goff. Delicate little ball into the penalty area beyond the Motherwell defence. Mikhalichenko on the blind side, and Rangers have equalised. Here's David Robertson, quarter of an hour remaining. Here's Mikhalichenko in again. Still look at the chance, he's done it! Sheer joy for Mikhalichenko and these Rangers supporters. He certainly got the break of the ball inside the box, but he took full advantage. Here was David Robertson playing in the cross. The Motherwell defence won't be happy about the way this found its way across to Mikhalichenko. He couldn't get away from McKinnon the first time, or Martin, but that delicate little toe poke left Thompson helpless. Well, that's what would disappoint Motherwell, I think, the way Angus missed the ball in the first place. Then McKinnon and Martin had a go, and Mikhalichenko kept his wits about him to play that beyond Thompson.
A double from the Ukrainian, setting up a quarter-final meeting with St Johnstone at McDermott Park.
Halstra is giving St Johnstone a real headache, and the goal that's been on the cards has arrived from Ali McCoy. Coming in the 15th minute, and Halstra has been too much of a handful.
Yeah, well, he started the game in spectacular fashion here. I mean, maybe a little bit of poor defending, but determined play by Halstra. Swings in a lovely little cross, and Ali, as he's threatened earlier in the match, knocks this one in. It's been a tremendous start by Rangers, and really the goals looked like coming.
And he really had to stretch a yard or so out, but it took a bit of finishing. Brown's come forward, McCoy's making a move. Goff coming late onto the scene, and it's Goff! 2-0! Well, it all came from Halstra earning the free kick in the first place.
Yeah, Halstra the supplier again, and St Johnstone had two earlier warnings when Richard Goff powered in two headers, and they paid the penalty that time. Good leap and a good header, just failed to clear it off the line, but Halstra again, lovely little free kick in. Goff well up.
Stevens with time to take the extra touches. Headed away by Gary McGuinness. Rangers finding an extra man again. And Haitley rise to this one, he does! And that is that. So for all the gallantry of Hamilton, Rangers have rounded it off.
Well, every time this evening a cross has come in, and it's Gary Stevens this time knocks this one up to the air, but every time a cross has come into the St Johnstone box, they've looked vulnerable. And Mark Catley, once again, picks it up at the back post. Good leap, not the most powerful header, but enough to direct it past Lindsay Hamilton, and the game is now over.
The semi-final at Hampden threw together Celtic and Rangers, with the Ibrox men up against it after the sending off of David Robertson in only 6 minutes. But Rangers weathered the early storm, leaving Celtic frustrated as the half-time whistle approached. Then, in 44 minutes, the breakthrough for Rangers.
Celtic letting McCall get away. McCoy! He scored! Right on the 45 minutes. Against all the odds. No wonder scenes of extravagant celebration. McCoist is almost in tears of joy and disbelief. The 10 men have taken the lead at Hampden Park.
A lovely ball by Stuart McCall, just nicely weighted. Ali takes it first time. He just gets a hand to it, Gordon Marshall. Very unlucky not to see that past the post. Good cool play by Stuart. Goes to shoot, squares a lovely pass. Just adjusted his feet and a lovely finish inside the post.
7 minutes left. Are Celtic going to get the reward for dictating the game in the second half? Galloway, oh, a phenomenal shot from a good 40 yards, and Gorham couldn't hold it initially quite cleanly, which invited the follow-up.
Galloway really hits this well. Bobbles right in that muddy patch, and then he recovers well and gets his body down. Good goalkeeping.
A long, hard road to the Tennent's Scottish Cup final at Hampden to meet Airdrie, facing their first final since 1975. For Rangers, it was a chance for their first League and Cup double since 1978.
Just going to ask you what you thought the scoreline might be today.
3-0 for Rangers.
Yes, quite convinced of that.
Very convinced of that.
4-0.
2-0.
3-0 Rangers. 3-1 to Rangers.
4.
2-1 to Rangers.
Now, you're not going to tell us how you're going to play the match, but are you going out to attack? Are you hoping to hit in the break?
Well, I would like to think so. It's the thing is, if you're going to kick long balls up to the front, then you're only going to give it to the Rangers players. So at the end of the day, we've got to try and keep possession at some time along the line. And if we can maybe get the goal, then who knows?
Alex, have a great match.
Cheers,
Thank you.
thanks very kindly.
So the occasion enhanced by the release of the balloons, the red, white and blue for Rangers, the red and white there for Airdrie, all adding to this wonderful, colourful setting. And a big moment coming close up as referee Douglas Holt leads out the match officials. Stuart Allison Wishart on the left, Bill Mackey from Forres on the right, and they'll be followed by the two teams, hopefully. They certainly expected to be followed by the two teams, but there's been a little bit of delay there. And Alec MacDonald and Walter Smith just checking that their players are all in position now. So two very experienced professionals, Alec MacDonald on the left, Walter Smith on the right, enjoying a chat there as they lead out the two teams. A big day too for the two mascots. The Airdrie mascot is Stephen Hannon and the Rangers mascot Stuart Angus. So there are the two teams emerging for the cup final and receiving a huge welcome. The Rangers fans on the west of the stadium, new west stand and around the enclosure, and the Airdrie fans out in numbers on the east terracing. And it's party time already for these Airdrie supporters. So there's young Stuart Angus from Cumnock in Ayrshire, 10 years old, standing there for the opening ceremonies. His favourite player is Mark Catley, and he's a very promising left winger. So it's a very big occasion for him, and too for young Stephen Hannon. He's 12 years old, looks a little bit more laid back. Caldervale High School is his education establishment, and he too is a very keen player. His grandfather, in fact, was the Airdrie manager Archie Wright, whom Billy McNeil, I'm certain, will remember very well indeed.
Yes, I do indeed remember Archie, but it's a lovely occasion for this young man and indeed for the Rangers mascot, because it is a big occasion, it's a glamorous occasion, and they must enjoy it to the full.
So the presentation of the SFA President, Peter Gardner, and the Tenants Director, John Hamilton, by Jim Farry, through Walter Smith, the Rangers manager. So the introduction of the players. We go down the line, these tense moments for the players, certainly moments they do not relish. They'd rather see this all over and get down to the serious business. Mark Hateley, playing in a Scottish Cup final for the first time. He's played in the French Cup final for Monaco and the Italian Cup final for AC Milan, and been in the losing side on each occasion. So Hateley trying to avoid a hat-trick of cup final defeats in various countries in Europe. So the officials now being introduced with the mascot. So that was Hope as the culmination of an excellent season of refereeing. He's been undoubtedly one of the top officials in the country throughout the season, and following his brother, who was a referee in the 1987 final between Swinburne and Dundee United, and he's clearly enjoying himself hugely. Well, the new Airdrie captain, Sandy Stewart, introducing his men. Well, it's unfamiliar territory this for the Airdrie captain. Hasn't had too many chances to do this, Sandy Stewart. There's Paul Jack smiling to the SFA president. Gus Caesar started his career with Arsenal, so he's been in plenty of big matches. So through to Gus Caesar there, who looked to be an outstanding defender, Billy, early in his career with Arsenal, and then seemed to lose his way a little to go to Bristol City and then up here to Airdrie.
Yes, he certainly was a promising young defender with Arsenal some years ago. That his career hasn't perhaps taken off just quite in the manner which everyone expected. But he's a big solid lad, and he'll give it his all tonight, I'm sure.
So the teams break for their respective ends, and we'll have a look here at the Airdrie team confirmation. No Jimmy Sanderson, no Kenny Black, and sadly for Sammy Conn, injury has denied him his cup final opportunity. So the Airdrie team had to be rebuilt rather. Paul Jack has come in, and apart from that, Gus Caesar had a chance to play in central defence. Andy Smith and Wes Reid are the substitutes. So for Walter Kidd, a very important occasion, one which I reckon he didn't expect to have the chance to savour following his departure from Hearts last season after 14 years service. And remember, he had the misfortune to be ordered off in the 1986 Cup final when he played for Hearts against Aberdeen. So he'll be anxious to put that behind him this afternoon. So the Rangers lineup showing that there are no places in the starting lineup for Dale Gordon, for Peter Houstra. Paul Ryder also is on the bench, and that's a very powerful Rangers lineup, with Ian Durrant completing a fine comeback to top-class football by being in the starting lineup this afternoon. But for Ali McCoist, the chance for the first time to pick up a Scottish Cup winners' medal. That would be the culmination of a wonderful season. He scored 38 times for Rangers this season, and he'll be very anxious indeed to add to that total this afternoon. The Football Writers Player of the Year. He's in the international squad for Sweden. He's won another league championship medal, and the Cup winners' medal is the only thing missing from a magnificent season. So the exchange of pennants. Richard Gough, the Rangers captain, has already been here with Rangers and with Dundee United and losing finals, and he also captained Tottenham Hotspur against Coventry City in a losing FA Cup final back in 1987, so he too has a point to prove in this season's final. So the referee, that was Hope Raskin, reporter to the children's panel, 47 years old, 10 seasons, a Grade 1 official, and ideally suited for this his big moment, refereeing the Scottish Cup final. Waiting expectantly. It's now 14 years since they enjoyed a double winning season, and they'll be looking for the climax to the season this afternoon. The Rangers will kick off. So the 107th Scottish Cup final is underway, and the Rangers send the ball straight back to Andy Gorham to give him an early touch, and he has the chance to launch one of those long balls downfield. Mark Hateley underneath that, well challenged by Gus Caesar, and the ball played long for Alan Lawrence, catching the Airdrie striker offside. But he's a major problem on these fast breaks by Airdrie. He's very quick indeed up front, Lawrence, and he'll be joined principally, I think, by Owen Coyle in attack. So Richard Goff with the free kick for Rangers. Helped on by Mikalichenko. Here's Jimmy Boyle. Brown calls to Spackman to leave that, and Hateley was slow coming back, and already it's established, I think, Billy, that Paul Jack will sweep for Airdrie.
It looks very much like that at the minute, and Gus Caesar will pick up Mark Hateley, and Walter Kidd, as we anticipated, will pick up Alan McCoy's. Interesting enough from Airdrie's point of view, Gus Caesar getting a good header early on against Mark Hateley, and I always used to enjoy that as a centre half, and I think it's an important thing to happen for Airdrie.
So the first psychological blow struck there by Gus Caesar defensively in his marking chore on Hateley. So Airdrie filtering back to defend, and we anticipate they may do quite a lot of that early on to avoid the blow of an early goal. David Kirkwood operating wide on the right. Here's Lawrence, hustled there by Brown. That was a foul by the Rangers central defender. Jimmy Boyle playing it forward early. Goff is alive to that. There's Spackman playing it across here for Stevens. And Stuart McCall couldn't get there ahead of Sandy Stewart. Good tackle there by Stevens. This is Spackman. And down goes McCoy. He's tackled heavily from the rear by Walter Kidd. So it's a very daunting task that for Kidd to look after McCoist all afternoon. And McCoist has scored 3 cup goals in the campaign so far, and leaves him 2 behind Jerry Craney in the race to be leading scorer in the cup. Mark Hateley going hurtling in there. John Martin will be happy to have that first little piece of involvement over, coping very capably there with Hateley putting him under pressure. Robertson up against Kirkwood. Spackman with Balfour. There's McCall. That's fine play by McCall. Stevens breaking on the right. Durant appears to have been given a free roll, and he's been picked up in the early stages by Jimmy Boyle. That's aim for Stevens, who's well forward, and tackled firmly there by Paul Jack. For that crunching challenge, making certain there was no dangerous cross for John Martin to cope with. Paul Jack signed from Arbroath, versatile player. He can play full-back in midfield, and this afternoon at sweeper Mikalichenko will take the corner kick. Goff and Hateley on the 18-yard line. That's towards the near post. Had to be headed away firmly and safely there by Stewart. Here's Mikalichenko, and trying to beat Martin at the near post. There's plenty of support waiting in the middle, but Mikalichenko, I think, tried to surprise the goalkeeper with this effort. You see him checking inside here, and Martin protecting that near post at all costs.
Lovely piece of skill from Mikalichenko, and confident as anything. Took the player on lovely, opened up about the goal for himself. Unfortunately didn't hit the target.
Helped on there by Honor, and played straight to the feet of Spackman there by Stewart. Still no way through the middle though. Airdrie grouping well in defence through the centre. So they've had to reorganise somewhat. Chris Honor playing in a midfield role, pushing forward on Mikalichenko. There they are together. Sandy Stewart also with that task of holding a position there on Stuart McCall. Caesar getting that out of Haitley, but this is Stevens. Good running by Mikhailchenko. This time trying to play the ball in early. Dragged away to safety there by Jack. Goff keeps the ball in play. And a very safe pass back there by Jimmy Boyle, who knows this surface very well indeed because he joined Airdrie from Queen's Park 3 years ago. So playing a lot of his football on this pitch before his transfer. Kirkwood got up well there, that's for Coyle to chase. Goff with a cross. Well, an alarming moment there for the Rangers defence. Davy Kirkwood getting up so well for that little head flick on. Richard Goff has a word or two to say to his teammates. John Brown was the player beaten there, and Coyle had a very fleeting chance there.
Walter Smith has come up with surprising tactics in actual fact, because Ian Durrant's playing on the left hand side with Mikhailchenko on the right hand side. I honestly don't think that Airdrie or indeed anyone else would have anticipated that one, Joe.
And there are lots of instructions, I can tell you, coming from the Airdrie dugout below us, because they're having to cope with that surprising formation. So homework done by Walter Smith and Archie Knox, the Rangers management team, to perplex Airdrie in the early stages. It's all rather muted at the moment here at Hampden. Neither set of supporters really in full voice as yet. Here's Spikeman trying to use the pace of David Robertson, but Kirkwood was covering that move, and he's gone back, probably pass back to John Martin. So John McVeigh on his feet, the Airdrie assistant manager, conveying the instructions, that earpiece, his contact point with Alec MacDonald in the stand. The keeper calms things down. There's Balfour, couldn't get to that. In goes Goff. Here's Kirkwood. Durant comes back to challenge. So Alan Lawrence is on the ground this time for Airdrie. He's holding his head as he gets back to his feet. The throw there from Robertson. This is Mikhailchenko holding off Chris Honor, his marker. Durant, back to Mikhailchenko. Such a good touch on the ball normally, Mikhailchenko. That pass though inaccurate, allowing Boyle to play it through the middle to catch Owen Coyle offside. Coyle is the Airdrie top scorer of the season with 14 goals, a very good return for his first season in Premier Division football. Consistent level for Airdrie. There's Haitley going for that. He's well challenged by Caesar. There's still danger for Airdrie as McCall tries to turn that towards goal. But another very good challenge, Billy, by Caesar on Haitley.
Yes, he's a determined boy, and he's getting up there. He's putting in a good challenge. Here he didn't allow Mark Haitley to get a clear touch of the ball. Almost a little error there. Nice little bit of idea from Stuart McCall, but obviously too high.
Pulled it away by Brown. Caesar again, first to the ball, ahead of Haitley. There's Jack. Well, he won't be happy with that pass. It was intended to pick up Alan Lawrence, who had broken to the right flank. So Jack calling there to Davy Kirkwood. Didn't like his positioning for the moment. So Airdrie have certainly set the problems for Rangers, which the Ibrox men are trying now to solve. Good running there by Brown, and the last challenge with a vital one. There's Mikhailchenko, and Ali McCoist complaining bitterly there to Mikhailchenko that he was in the clear to receive a pass on the inside right position, and Mikhailchenko going for this with his weaker foot, the right, but it was Brown who opened up the Airdrie defence with that surging run. He then tried to thread that through from McCoist. It broke back for Mikhailchenko. You can see McCoist there in the clear.
Yeah, McCoist will be just a little bit disappointed that Mikhailchenko didn't pass to him, but I think the temptation for a shot from the edge of the box is always there, and he came on to it. Unfortunately for him, it was his wrong foot.
Durant plays it back. Airdrie funnel off the Rangers back four as soon as Goff or Brown in possession. The Airdrie players drop right back deep into their own half. A foul there by Coyle on Goff. Coyle trying to go across and shut off Gary Stevens whenever Rangers have possession deep inside their own half. It's all been carefully thought out before the match by Ali MacDonald and John McVeigh, the Airdrie management team. Their entire line-up this afternoon costing less than £500,000. Here's Alan Lawrence. That's good play by Lawrence. Very confident play by Alan Lawrence, and that was the first clear opening of the match. And the Rangers defence certainly looked to be just a little bit slack here, as Lawrence kept on coming, turning and twisting there to fool John Brown, and the shot wasn't far away.
Yes, it's a good piece of skill from Alan Lawrence. This is him at his best, running at a defender, good bit of pace, shows composure, goes across the face of a defender and not all that far away with his shot.
There's Mikhailchenko. And good work done again by Davy Kirkwood, halting the progress of David Robertson. Former Rangers player Kirkwood, albeit briefly. Sees that again, getting up well against Haitley. And that snap chance falling to Mark Haitley as he fell over, but he certainly knows he's going to have a tough match this afternoon against Gus Caesar.
Yes, Airdrie have started, obviously when Rangers have the ball, they filter back and they try to deny Stevens room on the right hand side, and Kirkwood is preventing Robertson from breaking in this side. But when they get the ball, either Owen Coyle or Alan Lawrence, they're trying to get right on the shoulder of either central defender. We saw Alan Lawrence get the break there, pick up the ball and run at John Brown. I think that's what their tactics are going to be.
Coyle hoisting it forward, but the Rangers back four holding its line and leaving Lawrence and Coyle offside as we approach the 15-minute mark. And for Airdrie, I reckon so far things going according to plan. They've avoided a very early goal, and that was the first task facing the Broomfield men. Mikhailchenko's header. McCall across to Stevens. Durant going forward on the right. Durant now trying to find a teammate inside. It's McCoist he finds. Back from Stevens to McCall. There's no one on the left. Robertson has stayed deep, marked by Kirkwood. Got up well there by Stewart. Spikeman and a challenge there. It breaks kindly for Rangers. There's Stevens. McCoist dummy. There's McCall. And Jimmy Boyle steps in. Fine move that though by Rangers. McCoist dummy set up the chance to open up the early defence. Further tinkering tactically by Rangers. Durant has now moved to the right hand side of a three-man midfield with Spikeman and McCall who hold the middle, and Sandy Stewart has taken over the duty of looking after Durant. Mikhailchenko still with that free roll. Here's McCoist leading that to Durant. It's played in early and won by Jack. Kirkwood getting there just ahead of Brown. Could have been nasty, but neither player seriously hurt, although both Brown and Kirkwood took a knock there. Haitley's header, looking for McCoist. And the challenge was made by Walter Kidd, a very important one, and that right inside the penalty box, where McCoist is at his most dangerous. But here's the combination. Haitley getting up for this, looking for McCoist, and Kidd did an excellent defensive job. Durant taking the short corner this time to Spikeman. Goff is there with Haitley. Both up for that, and a missed kick by McCoist. Must have seen that very late indeed there. Stuart McCall. Martin is fully committed to this. Well, needed two chances to hold the ball, but he certainly solved any problems for his teammates in defence. I wonder, Billy, if Rangers sending one of the central defenders forward could make that extra man to open up the other defence.
Well, they're going to be asked to do that, and that's a bad job, because Rangers are going to, Airdrie rather, are going to pick up whenever they're not in possession, and it's going to be difficult for Rangers to break that down if they don't have movement from the back, and indeed I think they've got to maybe create a bit more width than they've been doing.
Here's Davy Kirkwood. Coyle has switched to the right. Trying to get the better there of Durant. He knew it would be an Airdrie throw. So we're midway through the first half, and there's still no scoring in the Tennant Scottish Cup final. So Owen Coyle looking for space inside the penalty area. Just on it also there. It's won well by Brown. There's Kirkwood playing it in low this time. It almost found his way through, and the Rangers defence very happy to scramble that to safety. Boyle shot closed down there and blocked by Goff, but Airdrie enjoying a good spell of pressure here. And that cross brings it to an end though. David Robertson getting a call to Andy Gordon led that run. But for a moment there, the Rangers defence looked to be in some trouble. Came from the throw, came back from John Brown. This is a very good ball played in low. The dummy attempted inside the area, and still it wouldn't run kindly for Airdrie. And the shot in the end from Boyle, well blocked by Goff.
That's exactly what Airdrie are after. They want to contain Rangers, and every now and then they'll hit them on the break. A good ball from David Kirkwood almost opened an opportunity up for them.
John Brown had to be careful there, and forcing Gorham to sprint. No sign there of that knee problem Gorham has been suffering from, and which requires treatment to ensure he can join Scotland in the European Championships in Sweden next month. Here's Richard Goff trying to pick out an accurate pass. It's not at all easy. The marking is so diligent and so tight among the Airdrie defenders. Now you can criticise Richard Goff for that, but you must really give credit to the Airdrie defenders who made his task so difficult.
I think Airdrie will be quite happy leaving Rangers with the ball at the back, and then they'll pick up and they'll make passes difficult, and they'll hope that perhaps Richard Goff or John Brown might get a bit careless and they'll steal the ball from him and maybe pounce on an open chance.
Well, it really has been a tremendous comeback by Ian Durant. He started to show some excellent form in recent weeks, suggesting that he's not far from his best, his pre-October 1988 form. And he came by that dreadful knee injury. Here's McCall. Played along there by Boyle. That's a good pass. Lawrence is in behind Brown. Kirkwood's in the middle. Lawrence looks up. Tackled firmly by Brown. But again, there's encouragement for the Airdrie players and for their supporters. The Rangers defence appeared to be opened up rather easily once again. One long pass, and the pace of Lawrence gave them a chance. John Brown took a knock earlier in the match. He doesn't appear to have shrugged that off completely. And indeed, Paul Rideout has appeared from the dugout with Dale Gordon to do some warming up. And I wonder if John Brown may struggle to remain on the field. He's taken a thigh knock there. It'll be difficult to run off. Looking at the dugout, indicating that he doesn't want to know about coming off at this stage. He wants the chance to run the injury off. There's clear anxiety on the bench about that Brown damage. Well, Billy, looks to be a familiar type of injury in the thigh. Can he run this off?
Well, it looks to be troubling him quite a bit. I wondered at Rangers' choice of substitutes. Now I know because Paul Rideout can play at the defence as well as we've seen him, so he can have a go at the back. And that's perhaps why he was Walter opted for him rather than Hoostra.
Then long there by Kirkwood. There's Owen Coyle trying to find Lawrence with a header. Brown turns it back. Well, his own courage and determination may be foolhardy. Walter Smith has appeared now on the bench, and I think he may be making a decision for John Brown. Brown, a determined character who certainly lacks nothing in terms of courage, and he will want to remain in the field in this cup final, that's for sure, but I don't think the Rangers management will permit that. He's limping heavily, Brown. Paul Rideout has been warming up, and Walter Smith has clearly come down to assess the position from trackside. Here's David Robertson, a stumble by Kirkwood. Robertson played it in low. Hickley! Rangers take the lead. Right on the half-hour mark. A very unfortunate slip by David Kirkwood in a vital moment, allowing David Robertson to set up Hickley for his goal number 23 of the season. Well, you'll see here, David Kirkwood was with David Robertson, and he slipped as the ball was in the air. He couldn't make a challenge. Robertson had time to pick out an accurate ball inside, and Haitley took the chance brilliantly.
It's a marvellous pass here, and Kirkwood it's a bad opportunity for him to slip at that case, but look at the space that Mark Haitley had. You know, if you're marking, Gus Caesar must look at that and wonder where he got to, because he's allowed a very dangerous centre forward loose inside the box, and he's paid the full penalty.
Yes, Haitley running off Gus Caesar, who had performed so well in the early stages of the match, but Haitley isn't likely to miss a chance like that, and the pressure suddenly eases in the Rangers ranks. And indeed now it sets Airdrie a very serious problem. The feeling always was that if Rangers could score reasonably early in the match, Airdrie would have a very tough struggle. This is a really important phase in the match for Airdrie. They cannot afford to lose another goal before half-time if they're to retain any genuine hopes. And here's a chance on, but Owen Coyle is offside. Took the little layoff there from Lawrence. But the linesman Hugh Dallas below us had the flag up. And no argument from Coyle. Well, Rangers appear to be content to leave John Brown on the field for the moment. Paul Rideout has replaced his tracksuit bottoms, and that position will be assessed, I've no doubt, at the interval. The goal, of course, taking some of the pressure off, and Durant's pace forcing Jack to concede the corner. Troubled moments these for Airdrie after an excellent opening half hour. They now face a 1-goal deficit. Spackman back to Durant. Haitley going up for that. That's when he's so dangerous. And he's thoroughly frustrated, Mark Haitley. He clearly believed he should have done better in that position. A good angled cross this. Haitley attacking the ball, and they're getting up so well. And he clearly feels he should have scored.
Yes, it's a marvellous cross. You can see it all the way. He certainly knows that he should have hit the target with that one, because he's got the ability to do that. But 1 goal in the cup final, he'll be happy for the moment.
Touch on there by Balfour. There's Mikhailichenko. The long pass back will reach Andy Gorham ahead of Alan Lawrence. Haitley's layoff. Here's McCoy busting away from Kidd, trying to chip that across towards Ian Durant. Difficult on this surface. It's very true, but the film of grease on the top after all the rain. And Owen Coyle clearly irate about that offside decision. That applies also, I can tell you, to the Airdrie bench. John McVeigh coming off his seat, going somewhat berserk, having to be controlled by Hugh Williamson, the 4th official, down at the tunnel area. O'Brien appears to be running a little more freely now. They have a session of treatment at half-time. Layoff from McCoist. That's McCall. Turned back safely by Chris Honor, doing his marking role on Mikhailichenko. That's proved to be tough this afternoon. John McVeigh still looking very upset and stern there, the assistant manager. That came off Robertson's head. In goes Balfour with Spackman. Plenty of time here for Richard Gough. Well, the long cup famine could be over for Rangers. Even Balfour has stemmed that flow of blood from the side of his head. Durant going deep. Rangers now perfectly happy to stroke the ball around and retain possession. The problems following that Haitley goal are all with Airdrie. So Rangers can have all the patience in the world. Here's Gough. Running the clock back, coming from that right back position. Here's Gary Stevens taking the pass from McCall. Well, the Airdrie defence was under, and it opened up completely there by the run made by Gary Stevens and the excellent pass from Stuart McCall. It's turned away there for the corner. Jack marshalling his defence again. Durant sending it across. Up goes Brown. There's McCoist. Well, a complete miscue there by Ali McCoist. He'll be very disappointed with that. It was a good opening by his standards. You see the ball breaks here from John Brown. There's time, there's space, but it was rather mulled there by Ali McCoist.
It's a little touch on from John Brown, and it's a good chance, and you would think a goal scorer like Ali might have hit the target there with a bit more power.
There's good running to the right by Hateley. He's away from Caesar. They're queuing in the middle of the Rangers, and it's too close to Martin. McCall was waiting, so was McCoist. Well, Mark Hateley again proving so troublesome to the other defence, so strong here, shrugging off the challenge from Caesar, and the cross, a disappointing one in the end. Headed away there by Brown for an Airdrie throw. Scoreline tells the story. Mark Hateley getting the goal on the half-hour mark. It's too far ahead there of Alan Lawrence. The ball's skidding away off the surface. So it's a very difficult task Alan Lawrence faces this afternoon, trying to occupy Richard Gough and John Brown all by himself through the middle. They may think about changing that in the second half with this remain behind. A bit of rainfall now at Hampden. We've had all the seasons really in the one day so far. McCall holding up Boyle. There's Hateley. Played long by Boyle, and Lawrence is caught offside. Running off his marker too early there. Gough and Brown very confident to hold the line in defence. Brown playing that forward, and Robertson denied the chance of reaching it by the presence of the sweeper Paul Jack for Airdrie. Back goes Gough to collect for Rangers again. Well, with the score 1-0 to Rangers, this kind of possession poses no problems for Rangers. Just 5 minutes remaining in the first half, and a very important 5-minute period. A goal at either end in that phase of the game could have such a bearing on the outcome. Good free kick taken by McCoist. He's frustrated though by the fact that it was taken from a position about 5 yards away from the incident. Taken quickly again. Robertson's cross, up goes McCoist. The offside flag is up. It may have been McCoist, it may have been Hateley. Either way, it's a free kick to Airdrie.
It's a real testing time for Airdrie now, because just when they looked as though they had conquered Rangers, got them wondering what to do, they lost the goal. Rangers look much quicker, much sharper, much more confident now. Chances are coming to them. Airdrie's really got to dig in there, hold on until half-time, see what inspiration they can derive from half-time talk by Alan McDonald, and hopefully make a game of it in the second half.
Kirkwood again doing a good job in the air, getting in front of David Robertson to head flick that on. The unlucky Airdrie player who stumbled at the wrong moment and allowed Robertson to set up the opening goal for Hateley. That's in behind Walter Kidd. Hateley with a cross, followed by Caesar. Hateley attempting the cross, he has down the corner. Well, he's more than just the big target man, Mark Hateley. Has a fair amount of skill on the ground, and he's very quick indeed. The Rangers supporters out to enjoy the occasion. They're in by Durant. Up goes Hateley. Pressurised by Evan Balfour, and it was Hateley's header that sent the ball behind. It's a goal kick to Airdrie. Well, Hateley is the principal danger at the moment to the other defence, Billy.
Yes, he lost his marker to score the goal, which would obviously boost his confidence somewhat. And he certainly has over the early part of the game. He's meeting the ball well in the air, and when he starts to win those balls that are provided into him, he'll make opportunities for Alan McCoist. But over the piece, Rangers now look about a yard quicker than they did at the start of the game.
Frustration again for Alan Lawrence, who's been flagged offside once again. Rangers playing with that flat back four, coming to no grief as yet. So a squally shower here at Hampden, as that ball is off the head of Hateley, says the referee. It's a goal kick to Airdrie. So the aerial shot of Hampden, 45,000 only inside the stadium. That's the capacity with the refurbishment going on. It's helped on by Balfour, then by Coyle. There's Mikhalichenko. In goes Balfour again. Coyle. Brown underneath that. He was definitely bumped. Well, the ball's in the air by Lawrence. The referee spotted that. And the sun has returned after that very brief shower of rain. Just adding to the difficulties on the surface. A little bit of extra grease on the top now. Goff coming to meet that bravely. There's Gus Caesar. Robertson takes over, allows Brown to have a breather. So it's back with Andy Gorham, and Rangers appear to be content with what they have in the first half. What they have is the only goal so far. Up goes Spackman. David Robertson lashing the ball high through the middle. It's troublesome for Paul Jack. Boyle there with McCall. Good play by McCall. Unlucky with the pass wide for Stevens. Both former Everton players. Stevens with his medal for Everton, and McCall with a loser's medal, despite scoring twice against Liverpool 3 years ago. So in the final minute of the first half, Rangers leading by 1-0, and Airdrie content, I reckon, to go in at half time trailing by that solitary goal. Any real prospect of coming back from losing another, I reckon, so they've dug in again defensively, and that will allow Alec MacDonald to sort things out at half time to see if tactics should be altered for a second half comeback. So we're now going into time added on for injuries in the first half. There was a little bit of that early on. A couple of head knocks. Robin Balfour requiring to leave the field for plaster and a cut on the side of the head. David Kirkwood also needed some treatment, so there may be a minute or so to go. Hateley and Caesar couldn't get to that. McCall sets up McCoist. That's a good effort by McCoist! And deadly finishing pays off once again for Rangers. Right on the half-time whistle, that may well be the killer goal in the final. And the quality of the pass should be savoured also when we see the replay of this goal. McCoy is getting his 39th goal of the season. The clearance from the defence, indecisive. Two players getting each other way. But look at this ball, played quickly by McCall into space from McCoy on his left foot, and Martin hadn't a hope. What an excellent goal.
It's a good strike by Alan McCoy, but Airdrie made a real mistake there. Indecisive in defence, and they paid the full penalty. It's my feeling that the cup is only going to go one place now.
So McCoy comes off. The half-time whistle has gone. Mark Hateley broke the deadlock in half an hour, and he took the pass from David Robertson to open the scoring for Rangers after what had been an excellent opening half hour for Airdrie. But that all changed when Rangers took the lead after half an hour. This pass from Spackman. Kirkwood slipped, Robertson chested the ball down, Hateley lost his marker, and that turned the game Rangers' way. From that point on, Airdrie seemed to be determined to hang on to a 1-goal deficit, but Ali McCoy had other ideas with an excellent goal, which may well turn out to be the one which puts the match beyond Airdrie. So at half-time, it's Rangers in the driving seat, it's Airdrie 0, Rangers 2. Referee Douglas Hope checks with his linesman, and Airdrie set off on this mammoth task for the second half of trying to retrieve a 2-goal deficit, and the ball immediately picked up by Spackman in midfield for Rangers. Paul Jack still in that sweeper role, and it will be very interesting to see what Airdrie do about this for the second half. They certainly have had a real tactical problem to resolve about how they change things to get back into the game. They haven't scored a goal against Rangers this season in the 4 league matches so far in the cup, so it's going to be a tough task. And Owen Coyle is playing in an area of the field where the Airdrie supporters don't really want to see him, back there in the left back position for the moment. They want to see him up attacking, trying to add to the 14 goals he scored this season. Helped on there by Kirkwood. Throw goes to Airdrie though. So to kick the final back into life, Airdrie really would have to think in terms of scoring in the next 10 minutes or so. Give them enough time to look for the equaliser. Goff trying to let that run. He's put under severe pressure by Balfa. The fireman in the Airdrie midfield. An uncompromising character. And a very effective player throughout this excellent Airdrie season. So there's going to be an alteration made by Airdrie. The next minute or two, they're going to bring on Big Andy Smith. And he will replace... No, there's someone certain who he's going to replace. It's going to be a change made with Alan Lawrence being withdrawn. I'll have to confess to being slightly surprised about that, because it means a change in the attacking pattern, of course, because there's no point in sending long high balls to Alan Lawrence, and that certainly is worthwhile when this man on the field, former Peterhead striker, scored a hat-trick in the earlier round against Huntly. Goff's header. Here's Stewart, put under pressure by McCall. Goff beaten to the high ball by Balfa. Smith's first touch. Closed down well there by Stevens. Here's McCoist. Playing that into the path of David Robertson. Spackman's made the run through the middle. It's turned away by Paul Jack. Nigel Spackman playing with boundless energy again in midfield. Spackman, of course, in the losing side for Liverpool against Wimbledon 4 years ago in the FA Cup final at Wembley. Experience he doesn't want to repeat. Is Haitley helping it inside. Swept away by Kidd. Smith wins the high ball, but there's no teammate ahead to take advantage. Now Goff. Mikhalichenko. McCall. Too far ahead of David Robertson. And at the other end, can Andy Smith inspire a comeback for Airdrie with his robustious style? He's beaten that time by Goff. Good pass that from Haitley. Here's Mikhalichenko. Trying to hold off the challenge there, and he was held clearly by Balfa. It's a free kick to Rangers, and there will be a little gentle word of warning, I'm sure, for the Airdrie midfield player. Referee Douglas Hope, though, quite content to do with that word of warning and not add to the 101 yellow cards shown to Airdrie over the season. So a free kick for Rangers. Goff has gone forward. That indicates Rangers' desire to get another goal before the end. It's back with Mikhalichenko. And now Spackman. That's good play by Nigel Spackman. There's Durant. Delightful play there by Durant also, and John Martin anticipated that move brilliantly. It was first-class goalkeeping, and it had to be, because the Airdrie defence is undoubtedly exposed by that fine piece of play involving Nigel Spackman, who had the vision to pick out this pass, and Ian Durant, who had the vision to make the run. So the corner kick swerving out there for a goal kick to Airdrie. But another glimpse of Ian Durant at his best.
Airdrie needs some inspiration. They really haven't been in the game to any great degree the second half, but there is always the sensation that maybe somewhere along the line they'll catch Rangers being careless, and perhaps the big lad Smith will upset them a little bit, and perhaps Owen Coyle will sneak in. But they haven't given us any more than just a little suggestion that might happen, and we saw a little move from Rangers that almost brought them another goal.
Evan Balfour there leading the field now. Remember, he had a cut on the side of his head in the first half and lost a lot of blood, and it looks as though the wound has reopened. That's why he has been taken off to have some further treatment, but he's such an important player that there's no question at this stage of Airdrie replacing him. But checking him very carefully there though. John Binney there looking on anxiously with John McVeigh on the left, checking to see if Balfour can return to the fray, and the answer is that he can, as Brown heads clear for Rangers. Spackman playing it forward, across goes McCoist, challenged by Walter Kidd, 34 years old, but still full of enthusiasm and determination. That's good running again by McCoist, and he's stopped in the end by Sandy Stewart, but so effective. And that run through the inside left channel, good pass again from McCall, gathered, full tilt there by McCoist, good defending in the end from Sandy Stewart. This time Richard Gough has not gone forward, he's allowed John Brown to do so though. There goes Haitley. Martin being very careful there to keep the ball out of the goal. Quarter now remaining in the final. Rangers leading by 2-0. The first scored by Mark Haitley. He is trying again for another, and carefully watched by Martin. So one from Haitley, one from McCoist. That separates the teams at this stage. Rangers' last Scottish Cup victory back in 1981 when they beat Dundee United 4-1 in a replay after the draw in the first match when Ian Redford missed that dramatic last-minute penalty kick. There's McCall. It's back now with Stevens. 5 championships out of the last 6 and the World Cup glory. That's all about to change, I think. Brown to Haitley. And Garcia running with him. Haitley complaining that he was fouled, but the referee had a perfect view of that and saw nothing wrong with Garcia's contribution here. Here was Haitley. Well, he appeared to hesitate just for a second. Caesar going to play the ball. John Brown has no qualms about a simple clearance, putting the ball into touch and winning it from Andy Smith. Well, it's going to take something out of the ordinary from Airdrie now. 13 minutes left, 2-0 to Rangers. Jack taking too long in possession, allowing McCoist to clear up. This is Owen Coyle. The tackle came from Spackman. It's a corner kick to Airdrie. Well, what a dramatic finish we would have if Airdrie could find the net. And for the corner kick, Rangers have pulled everyone back inside the penalty box. It's a measure of their diligence and their respect here, taking no chances. Gorham makes a good punch. Crowded 6-yard box. Interception made by Kidd, with the pass intended to reach Ali McCoist. Kirkwood playing it in, forcing Brown to make the clearance. David Robertson looking towards linesman Bill McRae and asking the question of whether or not the ball was out of play before Kirkwood pulled it back. Started his career at East Fife, moved to Rangers, then to Hearts, and now to Airdrie. Kirkwood. There's Coyle with a snapshot. Coming through a ruck of players, Gorham watching it very carefully, going into the side netting. Andy Gorham's had precious little to do in the Rangers goal this afternoon, and he was able to watch this go wide.
It's a good header out by John Brown, and Owen Coyle picks it up well, but he doesn't quite get hold of it. Certainly not enough to trouble the goalkeeper. Here's Richard Gough, closed down very quickly by Smith. Gough not entirely happy with the movement ahead. Felt that he wasn't given enough options, perhaps.
Great layoff from Haitley. Durant taking that of the run, but playing the ball into space occupied by Paul Jack, the Airdrie sweeper. Well, if Airdrie are going to make the headlines now, they'll have to do something really special. 11 minutes left for play. 2-0 Rangers lead. As Kirkwood helps the ball on for Stevens. Hoist. And a bit of holding there by Balfour on Spackman. Free kick taken quickly by McCoist, who wants the chance to score more goals before the end. Stevens playing it towards McCoist. The supporting player was McCall, but the early defence stands firm. Well, it is quite clear, Billy, that Ali McCoist is desperate to get more goal-scoring opportunities.
Yes, he's looking very hungry indeed this afternoon. Took the chance that he got well and has threatened on other occasions. But you know, Rangers are coasting at the minute. They're confident they have the scoreline they want. They're confident that Airdrie don't have the ability to take it away from them. Every now and then they lift their game, and when they do lift their game, they cut through Airdrie's defence like a hot knife through butter.
But it still hasn't produced any goals in this second half. That really would be music to the ears of the Rangers fans if they could see more goals before the end. There's Walter Kidd with a header out. Cleared by Jack. There's Kirkwood. Space over on the far side there for Chris Honor. 10 minutes remaining. Here's Andy Smith. Tackled firmly by Richard Goff. Smith and Coyle for a brief second there looked as though they might create an opening. Here's Davy Kirkwood. Breaks there for Smith. And there's the goal for Airdrie! The cup has been thrown back into some doubt by a magnificent strike from Andy Smith. So the big Airdrie substitute celebrates. These Airdrie fans have cause now for optimism. Suddenly the cup final has been blasted wide open. Davy Kirkwood with that long range effort, it was blocked. It fell to Andy Smith, and that gave Andy Gorham no chance at all.
It starts with a good strike here. It gets a little deflection, falls on his back. Not an easy ball to hit. What a marvellous strike with this young man. This has really opened up this game with what, some 9-10 minutes to go.
Well, what a view of the goal, which left Andy Gorham helpless, and Davy Kirkwood's shooting power paying off again. It seemed to break off John Brown, but what a finish it was from Andy Smith, and it's one which throws a lifeline to Airdrie. They now have 8 minutes in which to take this final to extra time. Well, Andy Smith getting his 9th goal of the season. He was ordered off against Rangers back in February. The acrobatic effort, there's the header from Haitley. He was offside and wouldn't have counted, but that doesn't detract from the quality of the save from John Martin. Well, David Robertson playing this in low. It was controlled well by Ali McCoy to that overhead effort. Haitley's header brilliantly saved.
Yes, it's an interesting little move here. Ali McCoy plays it across the goals. I think he tried a shot in actual fact. Good header from Mark Haitley, but what a magnificent save from the goalkeeper. He's had a good game. He may have been slightly at fault at McCoy's second goal, but other than that, he's had an impeccable game.
The replay showing, I think, that the linesman was absolutely right about that offside flag. John Martin couldn't depend on that though. Off goes Davy Kirkwood, and on comes Wes Reid, signed just a couple of months ago from Bradford City, and he will go into that wide midfield role, vacated by Kirkwood. Fresh pair of legs. So 7 minutes plus injury time left for play. It's 2-1 to Rangers, and suddenly the complexity of the game has changed. There's no offside here. Andy Gorham coming out to halt Andy Smith, but any feeling of fatigue experienced by the Airdrie players has gone completely. They now see the opportunity here to cause a major upset. The Airdrie supporters now have reason to celebrate, and they certainly have justifiable cause for optimism. could there be a dramatic ending to the match? Here's Gus Caesar. And Hatley gets there. Paul Jack drags the ball away from McCoist. Well, Airdrie can't afford any kind of mix-up like that in defence. The third for Rangers would surely seal the cup. Headed back by Smith. This is Balfour. Now Coyle. Balfour again. Promising play once more from Airdrie. Well, disappointing cross. No one there. Chris Honor pulling it across the front of the 18-yard box without any Airdrie player able to take advantage. So there's going to be a change now made by Rangers. Going to bring on Dale Gordon, I think. Gordon stripping off now to join the action. Well, are Rangers going to be punished for appearing to be content to sit in that 2-goal lead in the second half? There's McCall. Hatley going across with Caesar. Push by Hatley. It's a free kick taken quickly by Caesar. Hatley trying very hard to end the match as a contest for Rangers, but that hasn't been possible as yet. Airdrie are right back in it. Headed away by Brown. Paul Jack's header. Coy's trying to get round Walter Kidd, he couldn't make it. Got up by Goff there for Stevens. Stevens now stepping outside Andy Smith. The substitute has earned his corner with that excellent goal. There's Paul Jack. Breaks now in the midfield for Sandy Stewart. This is Balfour and Coyle. Reid has gone ahead. Still Reid in possession. This is promising again for Airdrie. Where's Reid? What a fine effort by the substitute, and suddenly Rangers are rocking. A match which was so much within their control for so long suddenly looks less secure as Wes Reid thundered that shot over the bar. So Ian Durant is coming off. He's done enough, and he will be replaced by Dale Gordon. There shouldn't mean too much alteration to the Rangers' pattern of play. But Reid here so determined, holding the play up, winning the ball from Goff, stepping away from Gary Stevens, had the shooting chance here. Played long there by Honor, headed by Brown. 3.5 minutes plus injury time remaining. Rangers leading by 2 goals to 1. But Airdrie undoubtedly now with their tails up. Walter Smith has joined Archie Knox now on the bench, and anxious look at the watch there by Archie Knox. Things looking different all of a sudden. Airdrie again trying to work an opening there from midfield. Boyle sends it long. Coyle trying to get in there behind John Brown. A bit of pushing on Brown. The referee allows advantage with Gorham in possession. The clock ticking on here. Only closing 3 minutes. Anxiety there on the Rangers bench. Walter Smith returns to the director's box. Plenty of singing again from the Rangers supporters. Clearly still believe the cup has been won. But Airdrie are battling right to the end. The Man of the Match award has been confirmed by the sponsors, tenants. It is Mark Hatley who has won that. Hard to argue with that in the light of his performance this afternoon. After 2 losing finals in France and Italy, he looks to be on the brink. The winner's medal. After a fine performance, here's Gary Stevens. Spackman breaks through the inside left position. This is Dale Gordon. Good running by McCall inside. Forward it goes to McCoist. First touch let him down, but he's determined enough to win it back from McCall. Spackman caught late there by Evan Balfour. Will the referee take an indulgent view? He does. Although he's warned the Balfour already, he seems determined now not to show a yellow card. Well, he certainly could have for that tackle, coming on the end of a few others like it earlier in the match. Referee Douglas Hope hasn't yet booked anyone in this final. Goff with a free kick, looking for Hateley. He's beaten to the ball by Caesar. There's Nigel Spackman. Dishonor comes to meet that. He's played the ball out though for a throw. So the clock ticking on now towards the final minute. There will be a little bit of stoppage time. Can Airdrie use it well? So there's the indication that we have 1 minute left for play. And a bit of injury time, perhaps a minute or so of that. Headed away by Caesar, helped on by Balfour. He didn't catch that properly though. He's given possession back to Rangers, who'll take plenty of time, I'm sure, about this throw. David Robertson strolling over to collect the ball. He's all set to collect his second Willers medal. And these Rangers supporters clearly convinced the trophy is to be won. Hateley's header. Forced forward by Balfour. Reid looking for Coyle. Brown escorts the ball back to Andy Gonham, who reassures him that there is no imminent danger. Coyle still looking for a glimpse of goal before the end, but time is running out rapidly for Airdrie. They have to throw everyone forward now. We're into injury time. John McVeigh coming out, still wants one last supreme effort from his team to save the match, but they're not going to get it. Rangers are the winners. Very little injury time. Mark Hateley, the sponsors man of the match, shakes hands with his Airdrie opponents. He scored the goal which opened the way to victory for Rangers with a fine goal on the half hour, and Ali McCoy's popped up right on half time with an excellent left foot volley to put the tie, or put the final apparently beyond Airdrie, but that reckoned without their resilience, and Andy Smith came on as substitute to score a fine goal near the end, which threw a lifeline to Airdrie and gave them the basis for a late flurry to try to save the game. But it's these Rangers supporters who are able now to celebrate, because Richard Goff will collect the Scottish Cup in just a few moments and bring to an end a magnificent season for Rangers. Rangers players now wait while the runners-up Airdrie go up to collect their medals, and they can do so with great pride and distinction. They've had a marvellous season. 7th in Premier Division, Sandy Stewart leads them through. Skol Cup semi-finalists, Scottish Cup finalists, and Andy Smith there, the player who almost gave it a dramatic finish with that excellent goal, and very warm applause from these appreciative Airdrie supporters, and that is thoroughly justified. So Wes Reid there goes through, the other substitute. Alan Lawrence came off early, clearly looking disappointed, but they've no reason to be other than totally proud of their performance this afternoon. They were unlucky when Dave Kirkwood slipped to allow David Roberts to set up Mark Hateley for the opening goal, and then fought an uphill struggle all the way from then on. Walter Smith with that handshake for Richard Goff. They've been together so frequently in their career, coming together at Dundee United so many years ago. So wait for the reception now for the Rangers players as they come forward. And these Rangers supporters have waited 11 long years for this moment, which is coming up shortly. The wife of the SFA president, Peter Gardner, Mrs. Christine Gardner, waits to hand the Scottish Cup to Richard Goff. So 2 trophies there to collect. The Tennent's replica trophy also for the sponsors. But here comes Richard Goff to collect the trophy. And it's congratulations to Rangers, the Tennent Scottish Cup winners for 1992. Applauded all around the stadium. The climax to a wonderful season. Richard Goff reluctant to let that trophy go, collecting the second one, the Tennent's replica trophy. So clutching both trophies, and doesn't appear to be too willing to pass it down the line as is normal and traditional. Indeed, he won't do that. He's keeping it all to himself at least for the moment. So after that 11-year interval, Rangers have won the cup. And Ali McCoy's huge grin tells the story of his joy. He scored what turned out to be the winner right on the half-time whistle. Alexei Mikhalichenko, clearly a happy man. And Paul Rideout, the substitute who did not come on.
It was a long time coming, definitely a long time coming, but very proud man today.
That first half, Rangers totally dominated the game. Did you feel you had it sewn up by half-time?
Yeah, we thought so, but we came out in the second half and just played time away, and we didn't play very well at all. But all credit to Airdrie, they made it very difficult for us.
Somebody could have told me at the beginning that we're going to end up with a double, the Premier Championship and the Scottish Cup final. I'd have been well thrilled, and it's worked out that way, so I'm delighted, yes.
We'll probably not sink until another couple of days, but we've achieved what we set out to achieve, win the league, and then the cups that come along is a bonus. Would have been in the Scottish Cup, we've not won it for that long. The fans and the boys are loving it, great.
Oh, that was the one to completely say. Magic result, magic.
Yeah, it's been a good season all round for myself, the team, and Alistair. We've had a good run this year, and hopefully we can continue it next season.